Football. The beautiful game, Pelly called it. The expensive game, I call it. Replica shirts, calendars, tea towels, comb-overs. Kids can't get enough of it. But I'm a traditionalist. I like football best when it's played on a bit of green cloth with a lot of flicking. Beautiful.
I got it for Christmas 1971. It was from Santa.
I ended up painting my entire team silver and calling them the Cybermen.
It was fantastic.
I mean, my kid never won a game. I murdered them.
I had the $6 million man as me centre forward.
We spent all Christmas and all New Year playing Subbuteo.
And you see that ball whizzing into the net. It's absolutely fantastic. It's almost as good as scoring a goal in front of 40,000 people.
It started as a cottage industry. There's just like the inventor Peter Adolf. It was just suddenly ran out of a loft in Langton Green above an old post office.
When it came out first, of course, the figures were cardboard and easily bendable.
You basically got a little box which you sent through the post, some cardboard men, wire goals, and a piece of chalk. Because you had to go at the army surplus store, buy a grey banklet, and draw your own picture.
I got the chalk and an old blanket. Yes, I was among the first. I was a trailblazer with Subbuteo.
Your two favourite teams fighting it out. They play whenever you arrange a cup tie, in your own home, every day. And who's the winner? Subbuteo table soccer every time.
I think some Hungarian went to some games company and said, I want to do this table football game, whatever. And they said, no, get out of here. So he called it the stupidest name he could think of.
Subbuteo in Latin apparently means to fly like an eagle.
Subbuteo sounds like a football game, doesn't it? Kind of. Boot, sub, eo is soccer-like.
What began to happen was every single house started to get a team.
I had Brazil, but it got squashed a bit, and I couldn't go out and buy a whole new Brazil. They didn't have any, and so I bought Norwich instead. So occasionally some Norwich players, maybe Ted McDougall, Phil Boyer, would have to play for Brazil.
Before you knew it, we had enough for a league.
There were home and away games, and we would have our Subbuteo players in little wooden boxes, carry them to our friends.
You effectively became a manager, and you could go out and play games. Even if it was just on the living room carpet,
My ground was quite a tricky ground because it wasn't on a table. It was on the carpet. And so you had to know the bumps and hollows. And I did. I knew the bumps and hollows of my own carpet, so there was a tremendous home advantage.
But it all went a bit daft, our Subbuteo league. Some of the girls were press-ganged into forming teams and entering the lower leagues.
I do remember my next door neighbour, he got his Subbuteo set, and I think he got me into it because he just liked to see me lying on the floor.
You'd always play it on the floor, and you'd kneel them, and then you'd snap them, and the goalkeepers always snapped. And then we didn't have super glue.
The smell of Bostik, every time I see Subbuteo men, I always look for the wee blobs of clear glue at the bottom.
Not only did you just have these blokes in blue and blokes in white, but you could get a crowd, which is always really pointless, because what do you do with them? Flick to exit.
I think at one point they even had a miniature streaker that you could put on the pitch just to give it that little bit more realism.
My godmother bought me the floodlights. Now, unlike most boys, I couldn't make anything at all. So this required putting some things together. I don't think there was glue involved, but nevertheless I had to get my brothers or my dad to do it. And of course, we had floodlighting in the house because we had lights in the ceiling and that kind of thing. Chandeliers, mostly.
The legendary Bill Shankly, they reckon, always used to use it as a tactics board. And say they were playing Manchester United, he put the Reds at Manchester United and Liverpool above them.
There was a famous team talk where he said Alex Stepney, so he picked the goalkeeper up, couldn't catch the cold, so he's off the table. And then he says, now they say that Matt has got a bad back. I'll tell you something, he's two bad backs, the other one can't play either, so he was off the board.
He's hopeless. Flick him off, flick him off.
I'm a Norman McGarden bigger than Nobby Styles.
And he used to finish up with George Best, Bobby Charlton and Dennis Lawrence. Christ almighty, there are only three players that kind of beat us.
And they beat us 2-0 the following day, but there you go.
The undertones I think summed up the angst of a generation.
Pickle didn't like football at all, but for the video, he was game for it, you know, consummate show business professional that he was. He played the game, but I don't think he was just a video fan. It's one of the worst rhymes in songwriting, I think. He always beat me at the video because he flicked a kick and I didn't know.
He always beat me at the video because he flicked a kick and I didn't know.
I know it's Fergal Sharkey, but how can you not know how to flick to kick?
You know, in Subbuteo you're supposed to flick them like that, which I didn't realise. I used to do that.
Well, I'm sorry, you can only flick. You can't shovel. That's knuckle stuff. And as far as I'm concerned, that's a bit of cheating there.
I like to shove a little bit, you know, and you get more accuracy up from that angle rather than like that.
You can't do that.
Flicking it's for Subbuteo nerds. People who just think that they're purists.
It's foul play, I'm afraid. Penalty.